Hey y'all, welcome to Mountain Cooking with Missy. Today I'm going to be whipping up chocolate pecan fudge. It's easy, you don't even have to turn the stove on to do it, and you don't even have to cook it. And look, it turns out creamy and delicious every time. So stay tuned and I'm going to make it for you. Hey everybody. Hey, I'm going to show y'all how to make the easiest fudge, chocolate fudge, that you'll ever make. You don't even have to turn the stove on for it. You can actually just pop it in the microwave and melt it all together. This is a rich fudge, and it's just a few ingredients, and it's the easiest that you'll ever make. If you don't like, some people just have a hard time making candy. And it can be a little intimidating, and it can be, and even I've made candy for years, and even still, not all the time, it seems like it don't always come out sometimes the way I want it. And, but this fudge will always turn out the way you want it. And it is good, it really is. It's just, a bag of chocolate chips. This is like a regular 12-ounce bag of semi-sweet chips. And you can use milk chocolate if you want. You can even make this peanut butter if you want. You can use peanut butter chips. You can use butterscotch chips. So there's a lot of different varieties how you can do this. But I'm going to do chocolate. This is a quarter cup of melted butter that I've already melted ahead of time. And we're going to be putting this in the microwave. So I like to melt my butter ahead of time a little bit because sometimes butter, when it's cold, it just takes a while to melt. So I've already melted a quarter stick of butter. Now, Christmas time, we always made candy at Christmas time in the winter, but mostly around Christmas time. And I never made this fudge. We never made this fudge. We made it the hard way. I didn't even know you could make this fudge until actually just a few years ago. A friend of mine actually gave me some of this at work. I believe she brought me some for Christmas, and it was so good. And she just told me how she did it. I'm like, get out of town. Are you kidding? This is really fudge that you made like that? She said, yeah. And I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know. So it's been about 5 years ago, and I do make this a lot. This is simple. So I want to put in some vanilla. So it calls for about a teaspoon of vanilla. You just put it all together. You're going to put, and this is going to call for a can of sweetened condensed milk. So let me go back a little bit. Quarter cup of butter, and I melt mine ahead of time. Teaspoon of vanilla. A can of sweetened condensed milk, and it has to be sweetened condensed, okay? It can't be evaporated milk, can't be regular milk, can't be heavy cream, can't be half and half. Has to be sweetened condensed milk, because this is where all the sugar is. You know, normal fudge, you put sugar and milk and butter and all that stuff. Well, sweetened condensed milk already has sugar in it, and it's very rich. And I'm excited, guys. I got this sweetened condensed milk at the Dollar Tree for only $1. And sweetened condensed milk can be like $2 and something a can. So I was tickled that I found it for $1 a can. So a bag of chocolate chips. Now, after this melts, and you want to butter ahead an 8x8 pan. I think this is an 8x8. And you're gonna put it in that. You can butter it, or you can line it with parchment paper or wax paper if you want. But I just buttered mine ahead of time. Now you do have to let this chill. I'm gonna melt it for about 45 seconds at a time, and stir it in between until it's all smooth. And then I'll keep melting that. So it doesn't take long, actually. Once you put it in there and it starts, and you got your butter already melted ahead of time, put it in there for about 45 seconds. And let me just do that right quick. So while that's melting, I am going to tell you, once it gets smooth, I'm going to fold in a cup of pecans in it. You can do pecans or walnuts. You can leave the nuts out if you want. Instead of vanilla, you could do black walnut flavor. There's a lot of different flavors you could do. You could also make this peppermint. If you wanted to make it peppermint, you would just do some peppermint extract, probably like a half a teaspoon. Peppermint extract is really strong. And then you would fold in like about a cup of crushed peppermint candy and just fold that in and then sprinkle a little on top. You could do that. You can add in some coconut if you wanted. You could swirl in some peanut butter if you wanted. You could even melt up probably about another half a bag of peanut butter chips. Melt that separate from it and then swirl it in. So you can fold in some chopped Reese's cups. You can do Butterfingers. You can fold in some Rice Krispie treats. So I'm just giving you a lot of different options you can do with that. I like to top it also with toffee bits. You can buy them a little bag of toffee bits. It's real good. So let me show y'all. So I just start stirring it. It was in there 45 seconds. And it already smells so good. Chocolate smells so good. You can use, now these were semi-sweet chocolate chunks actually. You can do milk chocolate. Now I will tell you, milk chocolate chips, when you're making this kind of fudge, is good. I'd rather have semi-sweet, but let me give you a little tip. I made it one time with milk chocolate chips, and I swirled a little caramel in it, a little bit of caramel topping in it, and I did my pecans, and it's like a turtle fudge. So I just gave you, Kenzie's over here.
Can we add peppermint in it? Like do half walnuts, half pecans, half peppermint.
Half? Please. I don't know, half of that. If you want to do peppermint, just do all peppermint.
Well, like, here, I'll crush up one of these. And I'll just sprinkle it on top of my section.
Well, if you want to, we'll see.
It's so good.
Okay, so it's still chunky, so I'm going to have to put it back in there for about probably 30 more seconds. Now, let me give you also a tip when it comes to melting chocolate. Whether you're on the stove top, now if you're going to do this on a stove, you need probably like a double broiler, or what they call a bain-marie. Put that in there, baby, for about 30 seconds. Because you don't want it on direct heat. If you burn chocolate, as Mommy says, you burn it. The word where I'm from, when you ruin something, it's called burnt. And I live in northern Kentucky now. I've been here 13 years, which is near the Ohio border. And there's a lot of people around this area from down in southeast Kentucky too. But you know, I've worked in I don't know if y'all know, but I used to teach visually impaired children in the school system up here. And I would help teach them Braille and teach children that are visually impaired. There's just a certain way you have to teach them. You know, you got to magnify their work and stuff. But anyway, one day I said something to one of my students about that's burnt, and I didn't catch myself. I wanted to say he did something, and I said, "Well, you ruined it." I said, "You ruined it," and he's like, "What, Miss Jones?" And I had to explain to him what "burnt" meant. And my student, this student loved how I talked, and he'd say, "Teach me how to talk hillbilly, Miss Jones." And I didn't get offended by that at all. He loved it when I called taters, and he'd tell me, he'd say window, and I'd say, well, my mommy calls it winder. So anyway, I just want to throw that in. But yeah, if you overheat chocolate, you will burn it or ruin it, as we say down in the mountains. You'll burn it, as my mommy still says that. You just burn it. So let me check on it. So as you see on the top, it's starting to lose its gloss. Now, if you were cooking fudge on the stove, and after you cooked fudge, you know when you gotta stir it, you stir it till it loses its gloss. And it starts coming together. And this one is coming together. Okay. So it's smooth. Okay. Now I'm going to fold in the pecans. I'll just make another batch again for her and make some peppermint for her. She likes it both. She likes it with the pecans and the peppermint. So you're going to fold in, these pecans are roughly chopped, okay? So that's a cup. I love pecans in walnut, in fudge, and I like walnuts too. Black walnut fudge is good. You can get black walnut extract. It's so good. It's different than English walnuts, and it's different than the regular taste of like regular English walnut. Most people get walnuts, they're English walnuts, but when I was growing up, we had walnut trees out the holler, and they were black walnuts, and we used to get them every fall and get them and go gather them and run over them. Daddy would run over them with his truck and crack them to get them out of the holes. They're in a shell, like a hole first, then they're in their shell. And we would sit out and take a hammer to them and crack them. But black walnuts have a different flavor than English walnuts. A lot different flavor. And they're really good in fudge. So this is ready to just put in. So that's easy. That's like the easiest way to make fudge. So if you're one of them people that you keep trying to fix fudge and it don't ever turn out, then try it like this. Nobody have to know that it's this kind of fudge. And that way, but it does have to chill, okay? It will, in order for it to set up, so you can cut it, it'll have to chill. You can actually, if you want to, you can put it in the fridge and let it chill quick like that, or just let it set until it's completely cooled at room temperature, then it'll start firming up. So what I do, I just take my little butter knife here and spread it out. It's so pretty and it smells so good. You can do Rocky Road at this point if you want to fold in miniature marshmallows, you could. So when I fix stuff, I like to just tell y'all, just throw ideas, just, give you some different ideas of what, the things you can do with your recipes. You can always take just about any kind of recipe, just about of anything, and switch it up and make something different out of it and like build upon it. So, which is what I do a lot. Okay, then you take some extra pecans. Y'all say pecans or pecans? We say pecans. 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 And you just sprinkle these on top. Butterfinger fudge is good too, guys. I love Butterfinger fudge. So that's about it. That's about all you need. But I will say, let me just recap before I wrap this up. Use good chocolate chips. Now I love Nestle's Toll House chocolate chips. I bake a lot. These are what I buy most of the time. The only other chips that I like just as good is the Costco brand, Kirkland brand. They're good too. Now from Costco, Kirkland brand I like, and Nestle Toll House. I'll get the Costco brand a lot because I can get a big sack of it. And I'll buy these. I buy these too, but I only really buy these when I can really find them on sale because they can be real expensive. These can be almost $3 a bag sometimes. But when they're on sale, usually this time of year, bacon season, they'll come on sale. Sometimes I can get them for like $1.99 a bag. And when they do, I'll get me some ahead of time. And these are good, but make sure you use a good quality chocolate chip, okay? Because that will make the difference in how it tastes, okay? All right, so I just kind of press my pecans down in it just a little, and look at that. So that's chocolate pecan fudge, no cooking, no stovetop, and when it firms up, it's ready and it's no fail. So there you go, guys. So when it's ready to cut, I'll come back and show y'all. All right, it's all done, guys. I want to show y'all. Let me get a piece up. So it's been chilling, and I like a piece with a lot of nuts in it. So let me pick one up. Let me show you. It's makes good sized pieces. It's so good. See that? It's really good. If you like fudge, like if you go to Gatlinburg or somewhere like that, you know how that fudge tastes? It's about $10 a pound. That's what it tastes like, okay? And it's good. And this is not a dry fudge, it's a creamy, rich fudge. So this is very, very, very rich. Very good. Don't take much to, if you like me, about one piece is about it, but it's good. So there you go, guys. It's easy, quick. Actually, the longest time is just going to wait for it to chill so you can cut it. But keep it covered in something. I like my fudge I keep mine in like a Tupperware bowl or something where you can keep it covered and sealed. And you can make it, you can even freeze it. You can freeze this ahead of time, like for Christmas or anything, and freeze it probably like a week ahead. And if you're gonna make it ahead, it's so good. But this is the easiest fudge. If you like the kind of fudge, if you like creamy fudge, this is it. The only way to make it. It's so good. So, all right, guys. Thank you all for watching Mountain Cooking with Missy, where it's nothing fancy. Just good eating.